The country is one of the poorest in Africa, but recently farmers say life has become even harder.
When I lived in Kyrgyzstan as a Peace Corps volunteer, some still called it the Switzerland of Central Asia. But in recent years, life in this tiny post-Soviet republic has been far from idyllic.
Skin bleaching. You can see it everywhere, on people's faces and hands. A telltale sign is to compare lightened faces with the darker natural skin of people's feet.
I'm Jake Schonecker.
I'm Fayabul Gassim.
I'm Lauren Rosenfeld.
I'm Ted Troutman.
I'm Camila MacDonald.
And I'm Brian Gibble. Those stories and more on CNS News. The American agribusiness firm Monsanto is the largest developer of genetically modified seeds in the world. In 2008, the company began selling its own brand of seeds to the West African country Burkina Faso. Monsanto marketed the product as a solution to farmers' poverty in a country that relies heavily on cotton. I traveled to Burkina Faso with reporter Elizabeth Lauren Jipo, and we heard from farmers who said the technology is not living up to its promise.
In small villages dotting Burkina Faso's countryside, nearly everyone depends on growing cotton for income. Farmers struggle to make a living, relying on unpredictable rainfall to yield crops they harvest by hand. The country is one of the poorest in Africa, but recently farmers say life has become even harder.
What is Peter la nu pisa la yope gorbi samde la rinte katne tara angre gorbi minga ligidin ta million na la tusu pisio poi nizaka.
Tanya Saidu is the president of an association of 57 families that farm cotton collectively in the village of Cairo.
For hankin lam ni ban ko lam do fa hana wajini ngele fase ngele ngisi bilam winning lam po bilam pamo huno mitini bo so fa in
2003, Burkina Faso became one of a few African countries to partner with the American agribusiness firm Monsanto. Together, they developed local varieties of the company's genetically modified cotton seeds called BT cotton. In a Monsanto advertisement, a farmer pleads for access to BT cotton so he can stop spraying dangerous pesticides.
This is my dearest hope because pesticides alone eat up a large portion of our profits. Since there is no need for pesticide with transgenic cotton, it is something positive for our health and the environment as well.
But farmers say they did not choose to grow BT cotton. Sofitex, the biggest cotton company in Burkina Faso, forced it on them. As the only buyer of cotton in the southern region, Sofitex dictates what farmers produce and how much they will be paid. Farmers get BT seeds on loan from Sofitex but pay over 15 times the cost of conventional seeds. They are in a bind because Sofitex also controls access to loans for government-subsidized seeds and fertilizers to grow food.
La masa tana tinga masa ko hanka ninga biriga o bien fu ko tere won ninga bena ko hambure beninga kamane ko ninga biriga ya zala kana mana bafuye am hum gomwa.
Farmers in the village of Bereba say growing BT cotton has meant using less pesticides, but insect attacks have persisted.
En tout cas, on dit qu'on ne traite pas. Bon, mais j'ai vu en tout cas, bon, à la dernière minute, ils ont dit qu'il fallait traiter.
Tamusi Kura supports a family of 35 people. This is his first season growing BT cotton.
À la dernière minute, seulement, il dit de faire 2 traitements. En ce temps, il n'y avait pas l'herbicide, il n'y avait pas l'insecticide. Donc, en tout cas, chez moi, en tout cas, je n'ai pas traité. Parce que je savais, en tout cas, il y avait des attaques. Donc, ils ont dit de traiter. Et c'était à la dernière minute.
Il y a eu des attaques de quoi?
Bon, c'est la mouche blanche. Hein.
Kura says BT cotton also brought another problem he and his family had never seen before.
C'est en mois de fin juillet que j'ai vu le coton qui était là et puis ça n'a pas donné. Ça a poussé, mais il n'y a pas de capsule. Et je suis rentré dans les champs, j'ai regardé, j'ai vu ça. Bon, je vois ça chaque jour. En tout cas, c'est un peu nombreux, je ne sais pas. Tu vois pas? Sinon, c'est beaucoup. C'est là partout. Hein. C'est ici. Si tu veux, tu vois.
There's no such thing as crop insurance like we have in the United States. If the crop fails, the farmers have to really own it, have to pay for everything.
Leslie Gray is a professor at Santa Clara University and an expert on cotton in Burkina Faso.
Sofitex, the government takes none of the risk. It's really all on the back of the farmers.
Cotton farmers face unpredictable climate changes, ranging from droughts to floods that often wipe out their crops. Unable to meet with Sofitex, we headed to Burkina Faso's capital city to try to talk with officials. 1.5 million people live in Ouagadougou, where signs of the country's cotton economy fill the city's marketplace. Finally, we arranged to speak with the country's Minister of Agriculture, who said Burkina Faso benefits from its deal with Monsanto.
Naturellement, c'est une firme privée, donc elle fait ses affaires, c'est tout à fait normal. Et dans cette affaire, c'est une opération de gagnant-gagnant, parce qu'aujourd'hui, nous sommes copropriétaires des variétés qui ont été mises au point.
He said BT cotton has made the country more competitive on the world market and is good for farmers.
Ensemble, nous avons défini, n'est-ce pas, les règles de partage des royalties, etc., où le Burkina Faso détient 72% et la firme Monsanto détient 28%.
The minister said more than half of the country's share goes to the farmers, but Kura claims profits are not trickling down to him, and he says BT cotton seeds are dangerous.
Voilà, ça c'est le coton OGM. C'est ça comme ça. Voici, si tu regardes ça, tu vois comment c'est. Bon, si tu vas semer ça avec des enfants, tu sais, c'est pas facile. Après avoir fini, si on ne lave pas les mains seulement, on ne peut pas manger avec ça. Tu vois pas? Déjà mes mains, comment c'est sale. Donc avec ça, bon, on ne sait pas c'est quel produit qu'ils ont mélangé avec ça. Sème ça. Tes mains là, ça devient la couleur des choses, des graines.
Ça a une odeur?
Ça a une odeur, bien sûr. Ça ne peut même pas arriver dans la narine. Ça a une odeur.
Comment est l'odeur?
Ah, l'odeur là, ça brûle les narines. Ça brûle les narines.
On peut parler de toxique.
Ça, c'est toxique même. Plus toxique que ça. Parce que les femmes qui sont enceintes là, ou soit en grossesse là, qui ont des bébés là, on ne les laisse même pas s'aimer ça. Parce que quand l'enfant pleure là, il faut téter. Donc, si elle a les mains sales là, donc bon. Non,
we were unable to speak with Monsanto's representative in Burkina Faso to respond to farmers' claims that BT seeds are toxic. Back in Bereba, Kura said farmers don't have money for gloves to handle the seeds safely. But they have debts to pay and large families to feed, so they can't stop growing BT cotton despite their concerns.
Kyrgyzstan's political leaders have been playing a game of musical chairs. In the last 6 years, this former Soviet nation has had 2 revolutions. Instability following the country's latest regime change led to violence between the Kyrgyz majority and the Uzbek minority. Hundreds died, thousands were left homeless, and the country is still trying to pick up the pieces. When I lived in Kyrgyzstan as a Peace Corps volunteer, some still called it the Switzerland of Central Asia. But in recent years, life in this tiny post-Soviet republic has been far from idyllic. In April 2010, disgruntled citizens ousted President Kurmanbek Bakiev in a coup. In the instability that followed, political violence in the north gave way to ethnic violence in the south between the country's Kyrgyz majority and its Uzbek minority. When the dust settled, almost 1,000 people were dead, and thousands more, mostly Uzbeks, had fled the city as their homes burned to the ground. 9 months later, I returned to Osh, a city not far from the village where I used to live, with my friend Akelbek, to see if it had recovered. On the surface, it seems as though life has returned to normal here. But it's not hard to find scars from last summer's violence, or signs of ongoing tension. People still shop at the bazaar, but many Uzbeks stay away, and vast sections of this once vibrant market now sit empty. This vendor, a Kyrgyz man, took me behind his stall.
Business qanday?
Business soda yo'q, hozir qiyin, kredit oldik, tovarlarimiz o'rtanib ketdi. Hech kim to'lab bergan yo'q uni.
Outside the bazaar, Akelbek introduced me to his friends Bektur and Askat, a pair of law students, both Kyrgyz, who were in Osh during last summer's violence.
Birinchi munavu munelden boshlandan munavu yo'q ele. Ular keyin после событий bunday darvozalarni qurdi. После событий muna. Oga cheyin jo'nli ochiq edi. O'sha yerdan o'tib ketishgan. Munajer universitetdan nima общежитиясida, короче, studentlardan. Birinchi, короче, chiqish qilgan. Chiqish turib, ner to'polon qilgan. Конечно, больно-da. Shali kirib olib, universitet qo'rqitib qizlarni. O'shoda turtki bo'lgan-da. O'sha главный turtki ushi bo'lgan-da. Endi biz chiqib olmaylar qotishganimiz yo'q. Men просто ichingdaligina bo'ladi. Eshikda jo'nli qaradik, el уже bordik eshikda. O'zbekni ko'rsa, urib o'ldirib batishganda. Bu magazinlarda tonashdi odamlar. Yo'q, men bunday aytsam, produktda yo'q. Hech kim уже el ochganlikdan oila jo'qdan girdi deb o'zingizdan.
Bektur and Askat offered to take me to an Uzbek neighborhood damaged by the violence. Minutes after we got there, a passing Uzbek woman invited us into her home.
Hozir endi 3 uydan boshqa uy solib bermayman deyapti endi. Chunki ochiq uydi. Senga endi menga yordam kerak hozir,
Kyrgyz and Uzbeks still don't talk to each other much about the June events. Sometimes their disagreement was obvious.
Bizga chinlik kerak-da, chinlikni.
Chinni gapiryapman. Men qanaqa odam kirib kuydirdi, nima bo'ldi, kim bilan kim urushdi bilmayman to'g'risi. To'g'ri aytyapman. Lekin Ashida o'ldi degandan keyin biz Ashuratoshga bolalarimni olib ketib bordik.
O kuni nega qochib ketdingiz?
Ashimada bitillar yurib, ko'p qo'novi zapning oldi qirg'izlar to'p turib, yine mana 4-palinkan oldi otishma bo'ldi. Madan mana tog'dan o'q tushib turdi, biz uyga o'qlar rosa yoyilib ketdi demak. Yine bolalarimni olib, nevaralarimni olib, tikoyimiz bordi. Suratoshga qarab qochib ketdik. Endi Allohning qo'lida men qatdan bilay bolam endi bo'lmaydi, Xudo xolasa biz bular musulmon, biz musulmon, bir o'rtada 3-chi kuch kirmasa bulardan ham yomonlik kelmaydi, bizdan ham kelmaydi, Xudo xolasa inshaalloh.
Later, I returned to the neighborhood with Mirzo and Ibaidullo, 2 young Uzbek men who witnessed the violence firsthand.
I was on the roof.
You were there?
Yeah, on the roof, and I'll stay there and listen and watch what they do. And after that, they burn my house, and after that I run another roof.
Before events, he rebuilt his house. His house was new. He lives only 3 days in the new house.
Although the majority of those killed and displaced in June were Uzbeks, many Kyrgyz feel violated too. Kyrgyz nationalists periodically protest outside the Kyrgyz parliament in Bishkek and have distributed a CD containing disturbing images, like these, of Kyrgyz victims' bodies. The images seem intended to incite further violence. One video begins with the message, "Fear not, Kyrgyz, Osh belongs to us." Despite their differences, many Kyrgyz and Uzbeks call each other friends, and local and international groups are working to build on those relationships. In March, the Foundation for Tolerance International and Mercy Corps sponsored a series of friendship days like this one to coincide with Nowruz, a popular Persian New Year celebration. To mark the occasion, visitors shared bowls of sumuluk, a traditional dish. It was pretty good. The festivities continued at the school across the street.
So this is the national holiday Nowruz celebration. Such kind of celebrations like today on holidays, they prepare performances, school children prepare performances, and they try to show customs and traditions of both Kyrgyz and Uzbek nationality. And there, while preparing, they learn, for example, Uzbek people learn about Kyrgyz culture, Kyrgyz people learn about Uzbek culture. They wear national clothes of both ethnics and sing songs or dance.
Attendees took the message to heart, like this Uzbek man and Kyrgyz woman.
We invite both elderly people, young people, but young people are not so active. So they are a bit difficult for us to involve them in the activities.
And that's a problem, since young men were the driving force behind last summer's violence. Meanwhile, the local government is taking a more creative approach to reach young people. It now offers 100,000 som, more than $2,000, to Kyrgyz-Uzbek couples who marry across ethnic lines. Incentives like these may help build a few new relationships, but true reconciliation won't be so easy. I asked Akelbek how people his age feel about the violence.
What I saw in Osh, I saw people kind of pretending to be nice to each other. They already forgot what happened. But what I saw, the images, no one can forget that, you know?
They can't forget, but they could still forgive. Perhaps the best anyone can do today is to nudge the next generation in the right direction.
Tourists come to Jamaica to lie on the beach and get a tan, but increasingly Jamaicans themselves are doing the opposite. Influenced by the lyrics of popular reggae songs and social norms, many are lightening their skin using dangerous and unregulated pills and creams. The process is known as skin bleaching, and according to Jamaican health officials, it's becoming an epidemic.
Jamaican national hero Marcus Garvey and reggae icon Bob Marley challenged Jamaicans decades ago to emancipate themselves from mental slavery. However, there is a harmful trend that has been in existence for several years that challenges whether or not Jamaicans are still in mental shackles. Vybz Kartel, one of Jamaica's most popular and influential dancehall artists, recently released this song. One of several showcasing his new skin color he achieved from bleaching his skin. To grasp the phenomenon of skin bleaching in Jamaica, it is important to understand the raw, harsh, and very popular world of Jamaican dancehall music. A big night of the week is Wednesday, what they call here at the Stone Love headquarters, Weddy Weddy, where several Vybz Kartel songs are in demand throughout the night. Among many things, dancehall songs reflect the frustration and anger of a lot of poor Jamaicans. And the entire dancehall scene is a chance to show off the latest rebellious fashions. One of the most important and prominent dancehall events takes place every Wednesday night, and it's where all latest trends are showcased, including the most daring, most recent, and riskiest of them all. Skin bleaching. You can see it everywhere, on people's faces and hands. A telltale sign is to compare lightened faces with the darker natural skin of people's feet.
We love bleach. We don't stop. A long time. You're not afraid it give you skin cancer? No. We're not getting skin brighten them up.
What do you think about a black complexion? You think black is pretty?
Yeah, black is pretty, but some people don't like the black, so they change their complexion.
Which one is the most popular out of all of them?
Right now.
The skin bleaching products that the women use are illegal, but easily obtained.
On the sidewalks of downtown Kingston, street vendors have stockpiled their stalls with a myriad of skin bleaching products.
This is where everybody I use, you get me? Everybody want to buy this. Anywhere you go, country or town, are testing.
Downtown, most skin bleachers are open about their practice. This group of women happily shared their skin bleaching experiences with me.
Why you have to cover up? Why you have to...
The sun and it affects the body with the bleaching.
Some cover themselves from head to toe to hide their skin from the scorching hot Jamaican sun. Others say that wearing plastic makes the bleaching creams work more quickly. They call it come faster.
Use a plastic bag.
It makes your skin come faster and pretty.
Many people at the bottom of society feel that they need to lighten their skins in order to improve their status in Jamaica. Now, this is quite a shocking thing for a country like Jamaica, which also has a profile as being extremely pro-Africa, pro-black.
How dark were you before you started bleaching?
Black, black, black.
How has your life changed since you bleach?
I feel like my light. Like when I did black, I be a heavenly step on me, I be a darkness.
No, sometimes you're black, you go through certain procedure, you can't get through in a life. Probably you have a lighter color, you get through quicker, you get through more easier.
Them say now when you're black, you have a sticker black out back, you know, and when you're brown, you come around. But right now, I'm not lie. I don't know. People now look for black people again. If you brown, I know you get through more than me, before me.
Historians have recorded slaves using an arsenic compound to bleach their skin as early as the 17th century, and these same feelings about race and class continue today.
If you look at the ruling party right now, it is predominantly light-skinned. The people, the faces, you know, the people who are ministers, the prime minister, they're all quite light-skinned.
If you look at the social pages of the newspapers, you'll see that light-skinned people tend to predominate. There's an overrepresentation of light and white people in comparison to the rest of the population.
They have the best cars, they live in better neighborhoods, they have more money, better jobs, etc. And as you go down, you meet the African majority, who are the overwhelming majority, who don't get the breaks, usually unemployed, and at the bottom of the social heap, right? So the little guy at the bottom of the heap, or the little girl there, realizes that the opportunities are limited. But they think that if they're a little bit fairer, they will be better off. When you speak to these people, they do not want to be white. You have to understand this clearly. They have no desire to be a white man. What they want to be is a brown and a mulatto.
To find out more about this process of skin bleaching, I visited two women who live in the notorious Waterhouse community in Kingston who were willing to share their bleaching secrets. These creams can become very costly, especially when you consider the minimum wage in Jamaica is less than $60 a week.
Me's a nice black girl and my skin cool and thing, but when I bleach, I look more light and I like myself that way here.
Many do not understand the effects of these harmful products with active ingredients like hydroxyquinone and potent steroids.
This is dermatologically tested cream. That means that it prescribes to enhance appearance and we make it. It's like if you eat a earth, you take a pill. Then don't take it off for the market.
Steroids have a significant place in dermatology, in treating any irritation of the skin, and they work admirably to do that.
However, they're used judiciously and prudently. For example, we almost never use them for more than 14 days. We supervise patients we put on them.
But a side effect of this steroid is that it stops melanin production, so it bleaches the skin with prolonged use.
Other side effects include extreme thinning of the skin, terrible stretch marks, and steroid acne. And even worse,
if you remove this normal protective barrier, then we're going to get an increased incidence of skin cancers.
Despite the warnings of dermatologists, there have been no recent public health campaigns from the Ministry of Health or Education. Instead, people are bombarded with pro-bleaching messages in popular music culture. Lisa Hyper is a prominent dancehall figure and is the first female in the dancehall to actually advocate skin bleaching, calling herself a bleaching pro.
My brother, my bleaching, come a cream it dear.
In this song, she even instructs people how to use the harmful creams.
If your foot fussy use, maxi light, you can wear shots a day, you can wear shots a night. A bleaching make him get Miss Right, cause when night comes she use fear and white.
And Vybz Kartel, who is an even bigger star, created a nationwide debate on skin bleaching and defends his decisions on national television in Jamaica.
If you were to say Vybz Kartel is bleaching his skin to gain fame, Vybz Kartel has already had fame. Yes. You know what I mean? To gain social mobility, Vybz Kartel is already socially mobile.
He claims that his decision to bleach has nothing to do with self-hatred, but instead a tattoo enhancer and fashion statement.
You know what I mean? Vybz Kartel is just a person that feel like for just get me tattoo them brilliant and more showing, and just feel like for just rub on something.
But all is not lost in the dance hall. There are several figures who speak out against bleaching, one of them who calls himself Assassin, a well-known figure in the dance hall space.
I have a problem with it because to me black skin mean more than just, oh, it's as casual as I'm just going to do something to my hair. No, it means more than that. Black skin is more significant.
The debate spans across TV studios to university campuses. Recently, the University of the West Indies, Jamaica's most prestigious college, invited Vybz Kartel to take part in a public forum on skin bleaching. Over 5,000 were in attendance.
In Jamaica, dancehall music has been getting a lot of flack recently.
The hope is that public discussion will at least bring awareness about the harmful effects of skin bleaching, and that it will help Jamaicans deal with the psychological bondage we still face when it comes on to skin color and race.